what we've done to go from zero to $200,000 a month in MRR in 2.5 years using events as our primary marketing method. But the big kicker, how to 10 times your results, you've got to negotiate in. What's up guys, Matt Prados from Reviewwave. We help chiropractors with their reputation management and patient engagement software. What I do have for you is what we've done to go from zero to $200,000 a month in MRR in 2.5 years using events as our primary marketing method. So what we did basically in the beginning, we didn't know we were going chiropractors, so we went to dental shows, orthodontist shows, veterinarian shows, we went everywhere, talked to everybody, did hundreds of demos, and really looked for our market fit. Where do we fit best? Where does our culture, what are their needs? What are the competitors, indirect competitors, direct competitors, and partner opportunities? And we started to get a feel for what was missing from the product, because when we started, it was just reviews. Though it was a good product, we needed to add more on there to make it stickier, to make it more robust. And so we really used the first, dozen events to gather the data and then go back and continue to expand our offering and find the opportunities. One of the biggest things you can do at an event is not just the sales, the immediate sales, but it's the relationship capital. Probably the biggest thing that Dan said this weekend that if you haven't done it yet, that you have to do is find that niched down part for your business. We went, okay, chiropractors is the niche. We stopped doing all those shows. We started doing every chiropractic show. People are like, God, you're everywhere. You're everywhere. That gives you that street cred where they're just like, you're the guy. You're with us. You're not going anywhere. We don't have to worry about that. And so with that, people started coming to us with opportunities. We have this event, we have that event. I coach, these 100 guys. I want you to speak at our event. And so we started to change from a vendor exhibitor into a presenter and authority, similar to the PR thing. We just used brute force of paying for events to become the authority. That was huge. Another way you get ROI from events, because events are very expensive. You got to have some money. You got to be willing. It's, not necessarily going to be 1 to 2 months in the beginning for your return on your investment. It gets there, and we definitely are there now. But one of the biggest points of return on my investment was hiring. I literally would watch the other people, the other vendors, unbeknownst to them, auditioning to work for me one day, right? So I found and literally handpicked the best people that I could, the best VP of sales, the best sales rep. They're already in the industry. They already know the people, brought them onto the team. Obviously that makes for huge, expansion at a much faster rate. So booths are big. Booth attention. When people are at an event, and I'll go into the different types of events, but when they're at an event, they typically have blinders on. You guys ever do a booth and people just want to walk by and not talk to you, right? You got to get their attention. You got to look different than the other booths. And so for us, what we found is giveaways suck. If you have little squishy balls or whatever, all the assistants are going to want to come and play and take extra ones for their kids. The doctors don't care. That's our public. Your public might be different. So giveaways sucked. Stamping cards sucks. If they make you do that at the event, bring a pretty girl to stand there next to you and do all the stamping so you can talk to the real prospects. Because nobody who's getting their card stamped is a real prospect. But booth attention, what we found is a TV mounted on the backdrop gets massive attention. A lot of people put TVs on a table, but then it's a barrier between you and them, right? You want to get rid of the barrier. We actually get rid of the table and put a cocktail table, and so it invites them into our space. The TV's up, and then what we play on the TV is huge. So when you go to a show, there's usually somebody or multiple people, speakers, etc., walking around. There are key opinion leaders, the people coming to that show. If you have them using your product and you have their testimonial playing on the TV, as they walk by, they're like, oh, I know him. They stop. You perk their interest. So getting attention is massive. All this stuff literally started from spaghetti on the wall down to working through all these little topics, and we came up with this formula. So this is the magic sauce right here. If you're going to choose events, these are the factors you need to have. Number one is focus. What's the focus of the event? So our product is a marketing software for them, but in our industry of chiropractors, their different kind of events are continuing education, right? If they're coming for continuing education only, then they're not very interested in marketing. Typically, they're forced to be there. They want to get in, they want to get out, right? In chiropractic, there's philosophy events, which are painful. Don't go to those. Literally, sometimes it feels like they're gonna cut a goat open and drink the blood. It gets a little crazy. Not really, but it's not a marketing event. These people are there because they want to get into the rah-rah, the spiritual aspects of their profession, which is fine. It's just not our public. But if you can find the fit, so a marketing event, a business management event kills it, right? So you got to have alignment. One of my good friends says, balance is bullshit, alignment is everything. And thoroughly believe in that, because if you get everything aligned, you get your conversions, right? Next is space. What does the venue look like? This is huge. Sometimes they won't show you. If they won't show you, you got to run. Exhibit halls, like if we walked out that door into an exhibit hall that we had to walk through, that's the ideal scene. Forced entry through the exhibit hall is the best way to go. If the exhibit hall is detached, it's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And then your positioning in the exhibit hall. If it's hard to get to and you're in the far corner, you might as well just not even go. It's terrible. So space is crucial. Next is size. Like the good old saying, bigger is not always better. We have signed up as many people at a 50-man event as we have at a 2,000-man event. Don't get overly excited about the size. The bigger they are, typically the more they're going to charge you, which makes it harder to then get a good return on your investment because you're paying more for the booth space. So size of the event, don't get overly excited. And then the key opinion leader, like I talked about, this is the guy that they already trust. You piggyback on that and things go well. So all this in mind, the more of this that you have, the better this size is. You basically want to get as much of that as you can to go for a super hyper successful event. But the big kicker, how to 10 times your results, you've got to negotiate in 5 minutes, main stage, before a break that is not a meal. That's the juice right there. Literally. Obviously, you got to have an intelligent 5 minutes of things to say, but you get that done and you will have a line at your booth after that break, and that's where the majority of your sales will come from that event. And then as you do this, since I've been here, we have sold 6 more accounts, and each time a new account comes on, they get an email from me. I copied it from the guy that does Groove, sends that cool email, you're in. Anyway, I ask why they signed up, and now we have gone from saw you at the event to we've got so much traction, we've become the guy. All of our friends are using it, so our referrals are out the roof. So events was stacked into relationship capital, which was then stacked into referrals. We've probably done almost 100 events now, and they have paid for themselves, 10 to 20x easily, and continue to pay because of the relationship capital. So if you go for all those things, you can make events work, and that's what I got.